Congratulations, Alan Shearer. Well done, mate. I don't respect your opinion.
Teeing off in a knobbly bobbly tee box or a steep angle, it gets in the head, doesn't it?
Does your router get like really, really hot?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad, because mine gets really hot.
Yeah.
Really, really hot.
Like the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit worrying because they're on all the time. Like, I'm not turning mine off at night.
Yeah. No.
That's psychopathic behaviour. I think if you turn your router off at night, there's a good chance you have killed before.
I think it's probably the first thing the police look at.
Just to see if it drops off.
Yeah.
11 o'clock. He turned his router off.
I'm a shocker for leaving things on though. I don't think I've switched my PC off for about 5 years.
It can't use that much electric, can it? Once it goes into rest mode.
I just leave it on standby. I don't want that faff of firing it up in the morning. Time is money.
Do you reckon it's like an old petrol or diesel vehicle where it was actually cheaper just to leave it running?
Yeah, though I've heard that was a myth, but...
So I think it's a myth now.
What, in electric cars?
Well, yeah. So now they don't use any fuel.
Don't they? Wow.
No, not these electric ones. No.
God, what a world. You can't say anything these days, can you?
Well, other than cobalt mines. All right.
He's right.
He is right, and it is quite a worrying thing. But in older vehicles, because of the way the combustion engine used to be designed, they would spit out a ton of fuel at the start. So essentially, for a 10-minute leave it running, you might as well leave it running because it's going to spit out a load of fuel when you restart it.
Is this what they call peak podcasting?
I think so. I think we've done it.
Where do we go from here?
We would be amiss really not to talk about our round on Friday.
We would.
Which we haven't really spoken about, have we, since we went for a nice meal afterwards. But it was more sort of general chit-chat and tired chit-chat, I would say. Well, I didn't want to bring it up. I did not want to bring it up.
No, you're avoiding it on the day, talking about it.
Yeah, just sort of, it is what it is, you know. You get an eagle, people celebrate. Not me. I didn't like to celebrate. Should we run through that hole? Do you want me to run?
Yeah, run through it. I mean, obviously, all the members of the club were instantly called in, which was quite nice, and we kind of all stood in a circle and held hands. And,
I was actually given the keys after that, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, the keys to Seaford.
The keys to Seaford.
Effectively, they made you mayor on the spot.
Just straight away, they just said, you know what? That was an impeccably played hole. Every shot you executed the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
So everyone, it is the 13th at Seaford, which, to put it into context, comes after a par 3 where the incline is probably, like a 60%, incline. Is steep.
If I had to kind of put a precise measurement on it, I think I'd call it stupid.
It's
stupidly steep.
It's a bit of a novelty hole on what is a course that doesn't need a lot of novelty attached to it. I would say it's the one hole that might need redesigning.
It feels a little bit like a kind of slightly quirky pitch and putt hole, but it's a difficult hole. It's a tough hole. Just impossible. Like, to the point where you have to kind of walk backwards up it and drag your buggy up. It's almost impossible to push your buggy up. It is so steep.
Yeah, your heart rate's elevated by the time you get up to the green, and then when you finish the hole, you've then got another pretty steep incline going up to the 13th, which is the par 5.
Mm-hmm. And what happened on the 13th, Tubby?
So, to be fair, it's a generous par 5.
It's 211 yards.
Yeah, temporary greens, baby. No, we're not in the States. The ball does not fly the same distance as what it does in warm weather climates. So our par 5s are generally shorter, it's fair to say, isn't it, over here? Nonetheless, I hit my best drive of the day because, as per usual, you get to the 13th hole and you suddenly work out how to hit driver properly again. And I was left around 100, I think it was around 185, 190 yards into the green. And I hit my 6-iron, which just a very gentle little tight draw on it. Started at the right side of the green, sort of came to about 5 yards inside of that. And one hop onto the green left me a 35-footer. And to be fair, it was the best part of the green to be. It was the straightest putt on the green, I think. And I just hit a lovely putt. A great line on it. I thought it was going to stop just short of the hole. And that would have been tough. I mean, tapping birdies, absolutely fine, but tough to miss an eagle putt short. And literally on the last revolution of the ball, it drops in. And we go crazy.
It was a beautiful moment. And it was nice that everybody celebrated together genuinely as well. There was no bad feeling there. Everyone was just happy for you.
You can't have anyone gets an eagle. It's just, it doesn't happen a lot in this very, very difficult game. So it was wonderful to have everyone there. Me and you managed to do the classic golf thing of the kind of slightly awkward high five leading into a sort of semi-hug.
Tell the listeners what happened. We kissed on the lips.
It's only for a second and it's fine. It's an eagle. But yeah, it was great.
I didn't have the best round in the world. I struggled for parts. But new course. I think I shot an 88.
Mm-hmm.
But new course to me. A couple of good holes. Hit a couple of birdies.
Mm-hmm.
The first par 3. Can't remember what hole number it was.
First par 3 is the 4th.
I took like a 75% 6-iron.
Mm-hmm.
Popped it to about, what do you reckon, 6-7 feet?
Yeah, you were inside 10 foot, which on that hole.
Yeah, slightly elevated green as well, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, so that, to give context, it's my local course, Seaford Head, and prior to that round, I'd never got that on the green, because that hole you're playing back towards the sea, and essentially you could be taking 4-iron or you could be taking 8-iron, depending on the wind. Very tough slope, huge slope to the right, huge slope before the green, and if you end up left of the green, you've then got to come back down the hill towards the slope. So finding the green there's a high tariff on that. So you hit what I thought initially, I didn't know which club you'd taken. I was like looking at the ball flight thinking, not sure that's getting there. But you'd sawn off a 6-iron and played this lovely shot, little one hop, stop, perfect, little slope down towards the pin. Mm-hmm. Really good shot.
Yeah.
Really good shot. Yeah. I think
nice.
that was probably your shot of the day.
Yeah, I think so. A little, kept it low. A little bit of draw on it.
Yeah.
Putt, slightly left to right putt. Nobbled her in. Job done.
Yeah.
We move on. Other than that, there's a couple of decent drives in there. A couple of straight drives, which was nice. That was my overall struggle, I think. Off the tee, a bit erratic. Gave myself too many second shots out of the rough. Trying to recover. Dense rough. Dense rough.
It's its only real protection if there's not any wind. They grow up the rough.
Yep.
It's juicy. It was juicy.
Very juicy. Not leaving yourself in anything other than just knocking it if you're lucky, 150 yards back down the fairway. But it was a lovely course. It was in great condition, beautifully drained. The greens were fantastic. Very, very impressed. Last hole was very fun, very downhill. Makes it feel like you're going to drive it 800 yards, which is nice. And that was the scene of the undisputed longest putt of the day, I think, as well.
Yeah. Lovely long putt. Was that birdie? Did you walk away with it?
Yeah, it was a cheeky little birdie to end with. It's always nice ending with a birdie, isn't it?
That finishing hole. Honestly, I mean, Seaford Head, I've been sort of singing its praises since I played it, because there's two courses in Seaford: the Seaford Head and Seaford Golf Club, which is the other side of the town. And Seaford is a lovely, lovely golf course, but a bit more expensive. Seaford Head is just a municipal owned sort of course. It's great, very affordable. I think it came in the top 40 in the UK for courses under sort of 40 quid, something like that. I mean, it's quite a niche market, but also what a lot of golfers are looking for. Not cheap to play golf. You can, that sort of money is good value in golf. And it's just such a great course because it's always pretty much ready to play. You'd have to probably have a couple of weeks of torrential rain for that course to struggle.
So if I had to make two suggestions, firstly, and I think this is a problem on so many municipal courses, the state of the tee boxes. And it's the same at my local club at Slimfold, where I think these clubs focus so much of their attention on not giving people something to complain about on the greens that they just neglect the tee boxes. It's not expensive to create a level tee box, and it doesn't take long to sand it, level it, seed it. Little things, but when you're teeing off in a knobbly bobbly tee box or at a steep angle, it gets in the head, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I would say there's probably only about 3 or 4 tee boxes in the 18 that are actually flat. And that is an issue. If you're hitting, if your bad shot that day is a bit of a hook, and you're walking up to a tee box where you end up with your feet, a foot below where the ball is, it's just going to exacerbate whatever issue you have. Yeah. And golf, there's so many variables in golf, isn't there? The one variable we'd like to take out of it would be the tee box, ideally. A flat, nice and ready tee box. So I would completely agree on that point. What would be your other one? I think I might know what it is.
The other one I'd say is the course was in perfectly good condition and firmness to accommodate buggies, and that is a tough course without a buggy. It is incredibly undulating, and a couple of those holes you get to the top of and you arrive in the tee box. It might be just because I'm chronically unfit, but I would say I'm probably close to the average weekend golfer physique, and I was blowing hard, which is tough when you're getting the big stick out then.
Yeah, no, it's a tough course to walk, to be fair. I mean, it's literally a hiking route for many to go over there and across and down to the Seven Sisters. So I'd agree. I think there needs to be a bit of a change in the attitude towards buggies in the UK in general.
You know what the answer is? Paths.
That would help.
Cart paths.
I for me, it's not necessarily the cart path issue. It's the attitude of older golfers that have only ever walked the golf course, and that bleeds into the clubs, and hence why buggies not after a certain time. It's very limited, almost as if it's like a wheelchair accessible type sort of situation of like, if you can't walk the course, then you can take out the buggy. But actually, it's a the whole thing is meant to be enjoyment based. And if a group of us in our sort of mid-30s want to go and take some buggies out and have a beer whilst we do it, that should be an option here that seems to struggle a bit, especially when you compare it with the US.
I mean, I'm a big buggy guy. I will always opt for a buggy if there's one available, because I find that the standard of my golf remains slightly more stable by the time I get to the last 4 or 5 holes if I've been in a buggy. I personally think part of the problem is that these golf courses don't have very much money, and I think they are just terrified of the insane costs that come with the fairways getting chewed up by buggies. Which, by the way, if you invest in good buggies with good tracks on, that doesn't have to be the case. But I think it's a lot cost driven. Because basically in this country, like, you get to the end of September and it's pretty much end of buggy season until like April, which is a bit mad.
Maybe more as well. Probably
maybe later.
May, end of May, I would say.
So something I noticed in Spain is just the plethora of cart paths everywhere. You could use a buggy in the middle of winter. And another example, in this country, Goodwood, playing that a couple months ago, it's a course with more money, obviously, and there are cart paths everywhere. You can use a buggy all year round. Okay, it's a bit of a pain. You can't drive it onto the fairways, but you just stay on the paths. But that's fine.
Yeah, 100%. And it creates a more... Anytime I've played in a buggy, it's actually more of a social experience. Because if you're breathing, trying to get to like an uphill hole or something like that, or generally your balls go normally as amateur golfers in 2 different directions. So if you can save time and drive together and spend time together in the car and stuff like that, I mean, it's more of a social enjoyment factor that comes with golf, which you lose with walking, without a doubt.
Totally. Here's the thing. When you're walking, you spend so much time apart.
Bumper sticker idea. When we're walking, we're not talking. For the back of the buggy.
I like it.
So if Easy Go Karts want to sponsor this podcast, I'll get that sticker. When we're walking, we're not talking.
It's true. We're not talking. We just need something to kind of match that, like, you know, when we're buggying, we're, you know, when we're karting, we're.
Before I had a buggy, I didn't have this buddy.
Yep.
Sign me up.
Yeah. What about this? When we're driving, we're thriving.
Nice. Ooh.
No pressure.
Wait a minute. I've got something about wheel. When I'm behind the wheel, I certainly do feel.
Yeah.
I struggled. I felt like
not necessarily sticker.
I felt like the natural conclusion was will, and then I really struggled to try and find something that rhymed with will that could have been to do with friendship. Maybe I needed to steer away.
When I'm at the wheel, I've got the feels for golf.
Yeah, but it should be wheels. When I'm
on 4 wheels.
When I'm on the wheels.
On the wheels.
Well, you know, when I'm on the wheels.
Okay, maybe when I'm on 4 wheels. I've got the feels.
When I'm. Yeah, we can workshop it. Any ideas? Send them in for buggy sticker.
When we're cruising,
you know what?
We ain't losing.
That's nice. That is nice. Ooh. My mind, so you know when you do these things and your mind gets stuck on like something, so now my mind is stuck on axles.
When we're in the car, we're under par.
It's good, but it's not car.
Yeah, I thought so.
Cart, part. When we're in the cart, we're never apart.
Yeah, the only thing is that's not strictly true.
Yeah, because if I leave you somewhere with a couple of clubs and
then
go to my ball.
then.
But hopefully no one would call us out on it, on the course. But I do think that might be a business idea. I haven't seen a lot of sort of buggies or carts with bumper stickers. But I guess they could just buy bumper stickers. But we could sell golf cart bumper stickers. The BirDie Golf Club Podcast bumper stickers.
It's super niche, but I think I'm all in.
Well, we can just drop ship it or whatever, so we don't actually have to make the product. We just float the idea out there, attach our name to it, which holds quite a lot of weight and gravitas, and then we just sell them like hotcakes, because that's a phrase.
I think the next stage is to get at least 2 of the 4 dragons on board.
Which ones?
I want Peter Jones, because he's quite clearly the richest.
Brenda Meaden's already out. She's out.
Yeah, is Brenda Deborah's sort of long lost sister?
Oh, it's Deborah, isn't it?
It's Deborah Meaden, yeah. I don't know who Brenda Meaden is, but I don't want Brenda anywhere near my business idea, thank you.
Well, hence why I said she was out, because she was never in.
Never in. I am playing golf tomorrow.
Oh, Slimfold.
Slimfold. It's looking at being a balmy 5 degrees.
Perfect.
Which will be chilly, but clear and chilly. So I'll update next week on how that goes.
So you're going to be layered up. You're going to be layered up for that.
Yes,
for sure.
Speaking of which, I do have your bass layer in my car that you left.
Glad you picked up on that.
Yeah.
My J. Lindenberg.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, don't sniff it. You'll be smelly.
Yeah, I won't. It's just I've placed it in the boot away from everything else. So yeah, I'll be laid up and out there tomorrow.
Same thing applies as when it's breezy, swing easy. When it comes to playing in cold weather, just little.
What are you saying? When it's cold, be bold.
No, the opposite. When it's cold,
don't be bold.
When it's cold, don't let your arms fold.
Okay.
And by that I mean the opposite of what it says.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do for sure fold your arms to keep warm.
Yeah.
But don't let them. Don't let them fold.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that needed a bit too much explanation to get it onto a bumper sticker.
Yeah, for like an audio, unless you had like a silhouette of me sort of at the top of the swing, just letting that left arm, just trying to keep that left arm extended.
Yeah.
Finish here. That's what I want from you. I want you finishing at like what feels like a 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just there.
Okay.
Just in the pocket.
Okay. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how I get on. In other slightly higher standard of golf news. What about old Rory?
Let me show you this. Look what I had ready for this week.
I can see just one word on the whiteboard, and it just says Rory.
Rory, because I realised after I listened back to our first episode that we never went back on Wentworth and Rory.
Oh boy. That guy's swing in person is violent. The sound that comes, those QI10 drivers are loud anyway, but just the volume coming off that club face, it's quite staggering. Swing speed's just off the chart.
What I've heard is that you actually feel the ground shake. Would you say that is true?
So when I saw him tee off with the driver, I was stood in the little grandstand, a very small one, like it's 4 people deep, and I was standing right at the front, and I was probably no more than, I don't know, 2 meters away from him. But the grandstand's kind of 3 sides around him, and the echo of that shot coming off those grandstand boards was something else. So I can imagine if you were standing right next to him on the ground, you could feel it. It's staggering, the difference between amateur golf and pro golf. I came away thinking that the biggest difference is with that club.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's his. One thing I picked up from Rory is his backswing speed is probably faster than his downswing, or at least the effort that he's exerting seems to be all in the backswing. Because you can audibly hear him on the telly. I imagine it's the same very much in person, of the as he's going back, which
he is putting so much momentum to get his hands essentially just completely above his head. The amount of coil in his body, and it is just like a spring being let off. It's amazing, actually. You could just see that right side of his body up down the side of his rib cage is just stretched beyond belief, and then it's just like an elastic band going. It's something else.
So genetically gifted, and incredibly hard working as well.
And I think it's also worth noting that was on the Pro-Am day, so you could argue that he's possibly not even going at it 100%.
I don't know if you'd seen as well, he had an interview recently where he wasn't happy with his swing, so he'd locked himself away for a couple of weeks. And now obviously that's not the whole time, but when he was practicing, locked himself away in a studio with the screen off for every hit, because he just wanted to hone in like what swing feel he wanted to have, and to have that level of desire to improve when you're Rory McIlroy. I just love that. I love it. I love it. Because we'd all
facilitated by that level of cash in the bank.
Yeah. Of course. But we'd all love to have like 5% of a Rory swing. Like, I would love to be Rory on his very, very worst day. Do you know what I mean? So for him to then just have that desire to improve and be as good as he is and take as many hits as he does in the golfing world, rightly or wrongly, I mean, he puts himself out there, doesn't he, Rory? He says a lot of things, but we can all laugh at him when it goes wrong. But personalities in golf, there has to be more of them. And no one can deny that Rory is one of the top personalities in golf, because he says how he feels. And that is, of course, going to lead to a lot of issues when it goes wrong, but a lot of plaudits when it goes right.
Okay, so thought experiment for you. Which starts off with the question: who's the best amateur golfer you can think of?
In the world, or that I know?
In the world.
Oh, that's a tough question. Best amateur golfer. I don't follow a lot of amateur golf in the sense of like the higher echelons of amateur golf where they're going towards being pro. You go first. Let me have some time to think.
So I'd say currently probably the two most highly regarded amateurs in world golf at the moment are Gareth Bale and Steph Curry.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
There's also Tony Romo as well,
Mm-hmm.
the ex-NFL quarterback. But
Yeah.
I think, certainly from Europe, I don't think there's many better amateurs.
There's a guy called Roger Steele.
I'm talking here as well about not amateurs that are like trying to compete to get on the tour. I'm talking, celebrity amateurs, let's say.
Consistent, high-level amateurs.
Yeah. Steph Curry, the NBA player, is also pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Could have been a pro golfer by all accounts. So here's the question: would you rather be so Gareth Bale is he scratch or is he +1? I got a feeling he might be +1.
I've not followed his handicap much.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, regardless, would you rather be Gareth Bale on his best day or Rory McIlroy on his worst day?
Rory on his worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think Rory on his worst golf day imaginable is still better than a +1 handicapper?
Yes.
Interesting.
I'm only saying that because I'd heard recently that Scotty Scheffler, if obviously pro golfers don't have a handicap, but if you had to handicap him, he would be like a +12. So when he goes to his local club and he plays against like a scratch handicapper, he has to give him 12 shots and still normally beats them. Rory obviously hasn't reached the heights of what Scotty did this year, but you'd still say there's not on their best days, which is now the handicap system, isn't it? It's you on your very best day. Rory's probably a +10.
But what about his worst day?
On his worst day,
because on his worst day he's shooting 80.
but we're only seeing him playing major tournaments, major events, when the course is set up at its hardest.
Yeah.
Your Gareth Bales, your Steph Currys are playing Pro-Am days at the most, when it's generous pins. The course is set up pretty nicely for them. Rory beats them every day of the week, even on his worst day. If he shoots an 81 that day, which very rarely happens with Rory, very rarely.
No, but we're talking about just the worst day as a one-off.
So what is the worst score? Okay, I'm going to look it up. Oh, wow. What do you think Rory's worst round of golf is? Professional golf. That's all we can...
If I had to guess, I'd say maybe 84.
I'm blown away by this. By someone who plays some of the hardest courses in the world, set up to be their hardest that they've ever been normally. His highest round in professional golf was an 80.
An 80, okay. So look up.
That's unbelievable, though, isn't it?
It's incredible. But I want you to look up now. What is Gareth Bale's lowest ever score?
So interestingly, it's saying his handicap's about a 3.
Oh, interesting. I guess my point is, I'd be willing to bet that Gareth Bale's best score it's got to be low 70s, isn't it?
The trouble is, you're playing pro-ams. You're generally playing scrambles.
He does play a lot of qualifiers though, and open events.
So it's saying he's a 3 handicapper.
Yeah.
So that's him at his very best day. So say he's playing. So the one that Rory shot his highest score at was the Dubai Desert Classic, 2011.
Yeah.
So that's 13 years ago. So pretty young. We can bring it up to 2024, the Open.
So this says Bale's lowest golf score is a 1 under par at the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship.
But that's a scramble, isn't it? Dunhill's is a scramble.
It says he beat his pro partner, Roman Langasco.
Oh, Roman. So to bring it more up to date, 2024 Open Championship at Royal Troon, which was a tough Open Championship. Rory shot a 78 with holes that were truly terrifying for most golfers. So 78, was that past 71? Say it was. So he shot 7 over. There's no way that Bale on his best day at Royal Troon matches Rory at his worst day.
Yeah, but that's not... How do we know that's Rory's worst day? That's just a day, isn't it?
That's his second worst day in golf.
So you think... Okay, so you think...
I think it's just incomparable.
Bale's...
An amateur golfer compared to Rory McIlroy is so far apart that it's almost incomparable. I get where you're coming from with it, by the way, and I think it's a good question. But I'm just struggling to see. I mean, you almost blindfold Rory, and I think he's just playing better.
Yeah. No, I suspect you're right.
Let's face it, with Rory McIlroy, it's insane that he's gone 10 years without a major championship. It's one of the anomalies of golf.
Yeah, it's all mental. I don't think he's got... I think he's an elite athlete, an elite golfer, but I don't think he's got the elite mentality that some of the others have. That ability to manage his emotions and manage pressure. I think he's dropped the ball too many times for it to be a one-off or a bad day at the office anymore. He is making a habit of struggling to deal with the pressure, and I think he just he reminds me a little bit of like an Eden Hazard. Just
I think that's very harsh.
Unbelievable amounts of ability and natural talent, and has achieved great things, but just not the Cristiano and Messi level of mental fortitude, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods. I just don't think he's on that level.
I just think it was so unfortunate as well at the US Open.
But I don't think it is fortune anymore.
No,
I think you could argue that for a couple of years or a few.
You could argue that at every golf tournament, couldn't you? At the end of
Yeah.
the day, I mean, it's an insane proposition every single week. You can play your very best golf, and there can be a guy who just plays out of his skin, who comes out of nowhere and wins.
Or just plays 0.5% better than you.
Yeah, it's just golf is a crazy game. The only thing I'd say about Rory is the guy has been inside the top 20, I think, for the last 15 years. The level of consistency is unparalleled almost in the modern game. Well, I'd say, yeah, in the modern game, it's unparalleled. His level of consistency. I mean, Scotty's had an incredible couple of years. Incredible. But he's still only won 2 major championships. And I think it's in the teens still when it comes to tournaments, PGA championships. So, in that level, he's not got near him yet, which is insane, right?
No.
I mean, Scotty
he's
is
the most consistent player possibly of all time.
Yeah, I mean, to match Sevy's Dubai, race to Dubai's and stuff like that, it's just, I'm always going to root for Rory. I find it difficult not to.
I'd love to see him win another one.
And every year I'm going to go into
epic.
it thinking this is the year where Rory just goes on a charge. Because let's face it, if Rory plays his best possible golf 4 days in a row, or not even 4 days in a row, if he plays it three or 2 days in a row, he's in contention every tournament.
I think he's in contention for most tournaments. I think the problem is that Rory now can go into a Sunday 5 shots clear and still not necessarily be the favourite. Such is the issue with the mentality, and I think that weighs around his neck so heavily. And I think every year that goes by is just, I think it gets heavier and heavier, and I think it becomes a bigger hurdle to get over.
So what's the solution?
If
Rory's listening right now, we're looking at it from the outside. We couldn't be more third party.
Well, getting rid of his best mate as his caddy would be a good start.
So he fought back on that. Did you see?
I mean, he's constantly arguing the toss over it, but you can't argue with the evidence. And if you look at most of the elite players, they almost go through cycles with coaches, with the guys on the bag. In the same way that you see it, don't you, with even the most elite footballers, after a while, that same voice from the manager in the dressing room gets old. And, the best teams need a new face every so often. I think that would help him. I mean, maybe he does do this, we're not in his head, but maybe just focusing on trying to pick up more wins just on the tour throughout the year, less obsessive focus on the majors, which is what he is obsessed with. Everything is geared up to those majors. The same being for all golfers, but I think for him, because of this issue, I think he's particularly obsessive over them. And I think he heaps so much pressure on himself and the media and people like us, or me. And I'm sure he gets very concerned about the pressure from me.
Yeah, I think he addressed it, actually.
Yeah. He fought back on it.
I wish the B in BirDie Golf Club Podcast could really just be behind me a little bit more.
Just stop being mean.
Yeah, less trying to trip me up, a little bit more trying to pick me up,
Yeah.
And he said the D in BirDie Golf, he's a great guy. He's a really good guy. He's the type who goes out of the weekend, picks up an eagle, just does the right thing. So, yeah.
I just hope that he doesn't end up becoming a bit of what could have been a bit of a Lee Westwood sort of character, who is a great guy, well loved, funny, great with the media, brilliant at the Ryder Cup. Puts in some good performances now and then, but just, becomes more of a character on the tour rather than an elite winner. Because I think at the moment there's quite a big psychological gap between him and the likes of Scheffler. Not talent-wise, I think Rory is the most talented golfer on the tour by some way, but it's up in the grey, and it's his issue.
I suppose devil's advocate, what then happens if he wins one major? So say 2025 starts, and Rory wins the Masters.
I would not be surprised if Rory didn't win another major in his career. Equally, I would not be surprised if he won another 7 or 8.
That's the thing, isn't it? If he
wins one...
If the domino starts falling...
And this is my point about it not being about his golf. It's about his brain. I think if he gets that monkey off his back and he wins a major...
Yeah.
Particularly the Masters, because it's quite clear that's the one he really wants.
Yeah. Of course.
I feel like if he won the Masters, he could go on and win 5, 6, 7, 8. Wouldn't surprise me. I just think the longer it goes...
I want it so much.
The less likely.
I want it so much.
But you know what will probably end up happening? He won't win one, and then he'll end up like winning the Open at age 53 or something as a random.
Still hitting it like 320 yards. Just
yeah.
It's just, you know, it's a pleasure to watch him play golf. And it's great we get to do it, you know. And we've been so fortunate. We've grown up in an era where we've got to watch Tiger Woods, like at his peak when I was at a young age. You know, I miss the Seve era and stuff like that, but I sort of don't mind. I mean, Tiger was so game-changing when it came to the world of golf. That watching him at his peak was just...
Rory McIlroy will never, ever be Tiger Woods.
He can't be. No one can be Tiger Woods. 82 PGA Tour wins.
Nobody could be, let's face it, that dull, that poor with the media, and have a life so littered with scandal and still be the most loved golfer of all time. How is that possible?
He doesn't take any divots.
He's effectively the Ryan Giggs of golf.
Again, my favourite footballer of all time. But you know,
he's effectively the Alan Shearer of golf.
No, I don't like Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
Alan Shearer, no, he's not. Because I tell you what would be a good comparison for that. If Tiger Woods has spent his entire career playing the European Tour. And he'd won 50 European Tour events and been the most decorated European Tour player of all time, but never decided to take that next step and play the PGA Tour. You knew this was going to get me going. You knew it was going to get me going.
But that he flew over once and won the Masters.
Did he?
Yeah. The Premier League. He did win it once.
Well, he did, yeah. Okay, all right.
I can't stand Alan Shearer either, so
fair enough.
We're
both
flogging a bald horse here.
He won it. He won it at the beginning of his career, and then from then on, he decided to pick mediocrity, compared to trying to actually win titles and go for Champions Leagues. He'd just rather play week in, week out and not be challenged. Congratulations, Alan Shearer. Well done, mate. I don't respect your opinion. But you know who I do respect? Tiger Woods' golfing game. That's what I respect. I hope he plays more this year.
I respect Tiger Woods as a footballer more than I respect Alan Shearer.
For sure. He'd be a terrible footballer.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Tiger Woods trying to play football?
Yeah.
I think it'd be tough to watch. Especially now. I mean, that's not really much of his own fault.
I imagine he'd be quite tough to spend time with as well.
Yeah.
I think
he just says weird things, doesn't he?
I think like in an evening he would say very little and then just come out with something that you're not sure if you've heard properly because it was quite uncomfortable. But you don't want to ask him to repeat it.
I mean, there's some classics out there. The TaylorMade Range video on YouTube of him saying to Colin Morikawa, completely deadpan, that he doesn't take divots. He said, when I'm hitting the ball well, I don't take any divots. And then the footage afterwards of him just taking humongous, like, beaver tails from the turf.
Dollar bill divots. Question for you to mull over for the next pod. In the
Consider
meantime,
it mould.
if you were to choose just one club for any amateur golfer to upgrade, what would it be? Okay.
Food
for
for
next
thought.
week. One club in the bag. You can only upgrade one club in the bag. What are you recommending?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's do it. And in the meantime, you go out there. You attack Slimfold tomorrow.
Yeah.
In your quarter zips and your gilets and maybe some thermal gloves. And you know what? You go out there and you find that birdie.
You know what? I'll be driving and thriving.
Nice.